I'm going to read two poems today. The first one, very short, but it was inspired by a poem that I love, I have memorized, and I argue with sometimes. It's Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. His poem centers on scenarios of destruction. I used his structure to muse on the cost of creation. And if you're wondering about Ixion, think of the underworld of Greek mythology, where he was a next door neighbor to Sisyphus and Tantalus. The Craft of Poetry for Robert Frost. Some artists build facades in stone. Some build in steel. Poets craft from blood and bone, make common language all their own, seduce us onto Ixion's wheel by our own yearning and desire. We learn to turn toward what we feel, to brave love's fire and scorched reveal. And that poem appeared this spring in Blue Unicorn Journal in the Bay Area. This poem is the poem I am so excited is in Little Patuxent Review. I began this quartet of sonnets in 2019, the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Rebellion. And here it is. My Godfather. 1. Uncle David died of emphysema, no thrush or hematoma, more bloated than wasted. In the mid-century cinema of his life, gay identity coded with white guy normalcy and Midwestern decency, lubricated with good scotch, he magnetized family parties, helped burn off the fug of the old stories. I'd watch how he did it. First, warm smile and crinkled eyes, the wind-up, followed by the pregnant pause. Then the punchline, delivered, sly, edgewise, his own infectious laugh, cueing applause. These 8x10 photos of him on stage, so retro, so camp, spotlight that lost age. 2. I felt safe when he'd assert, oh, hell yes. He could impart urbanity and style to his father's growling phrase, twist the stress into open-hearted gaiety. David would smile and swirl ice cubes in his glass, start their clinking music, and everyone would melt. He was slim, fine-boned, blonde, grandma's fair-haired boy, even more loved. After that jolt, before I was born, my dad in high school, David back from the Navy, when old laws demonized forms of love. The judge's rule, lock up in the state madhouse for just cause. But Grandpa begged mercy for his eldest son, swore he'd leave the state and would stay gone. 3. From Michigan to Illinois, he went, shaken but free. Distant Kalamazoo didn't matter. Dave found an apartment on West Pratt, fell in and out of love, grew a brief mustache, found he excelled in sales, treasured the corner Jewish deli, rye bagels and lox, wind off the lake, bright sails scudding north and south. He would make these wry comments on city life, but you could tell he was at home, especially with Pat. They were official roommates, but one monk cell and one king-sized bed, said that was not that. Life companions, they were faithful unto death, living a truth they could not trust to breath. 4. Jovial, avuncular, always known only partially to me. I never had a conversation that sank to bone with Uncle David. Indeed, he'd sever the flow of talk if it turned too heart dark and navigate us toward the sunlit joke. Of all that silent worry he took to Rogers Park, the only signs were a constant cloud of smoke, flicks of the flint, whooshes of bright red flame, spent cigarettes and ashes near his chair. When I last saw him, he played a sweet game with my infant daughter, blowing her red hair to make it rise up, to make her laugh and smile, to keep us all from crying for a little while. Thank you.